Hello, so in this video I'm going to tell you who the top 5 heroes in Hero Wars Dominion era are. With over 60 heroes in the game, there's actually quite a bit now, but who are the top 5, and I'm going to narrow it down for you. And I actually did a video about this a couple years ago, but that's a couple years ago. It's time for an updated one. So let's get right to it and go with number 5, Dante. So with over 60 heroes in the game, it's kind of hard to narrow it down to a top 5. And while I'm pretty confident about my top 4 spots, the 5th spot was definitely a lot harder because there's a strong case that Isaac should be on this list. There's a strong case that Heidi should be on this list. There is a strong case that Iris should be on this list. But at the end of the day, I am going to give it to Dante. My Dante's way down here. He's level 69. Nice. But no, Dante, he is a dodge buffer. He's one of 3 heroes of the game who can buff dodge. But unlike Heidi, he can actually sit up front. And with buffs to the artifacts, now with red artifacts, I'm going to have to go to Aurora. Like, in spoiler, Aurora is also on this list because Aurora is also really good. For a lot of the same reasons Dante's good. But dodge buffs now, like when you have a fully buffed maxed out artifact, adds almost 14,000 dodge, which is going to be really close to what a maxed out hero will have for their base stat. So that's that dodge buff. One dodge buff gives your whole team almost 50% chance to evade a physical attack, which is just so game breaking, especially when you can combine a hero like Aurora or like Dante with Kayn patronage. And if you aren't too familiar with Kayn, Kayn is one of the defining pets of the game just because of his Dark Patron ability, right? Dark Patron ability on Kayn. When the hero dodges, they gain an extra almost 35% bonus energy. So if you get 3 dodges, you get full energy, which allows you to ult, which allows like a hero like Dante to do a bunch of damage and put up a dodge buff for his whole team. And he can literally spam up multiples of those buffs at a time. And we're going to put a team here with Dante. You'll see teams like this a lot. Like against like a physical team though, this is like, should be really good here. Like, let's see, let's try something like this. Try a physical team. Try this here. It's possible that Ishmael will do, but like watch what happens with Dante here. See how those dodges. He puts up a dodge buff. He's already killed Ishmael. Alright, this is right here is part of why Dante's good, is just because he gets, there we go, now they have 2 dodge buffs. Now it's really hard for physical attackers to actually land a hit on that team. Because of all that dodging. And he's just he's just literally just as a quote tank. He's not even a tank, but he's literally destroying the other team. Plus he has like a Nebula here to boost his damage. And Sebastian, Iris does a lot of damage on her own. And you can literally see, you'll see teams like this, like Dante can literally do quite a bit of damage. And instead of Aurora's same thing. Like I said, Aurora's going to be on this list too for a lot of the same reasons Dante's on this list. I do think Aurora is the better hero overall, but Dante's also a force to be reckoned with. You can't really go too wrong by investing in him. But yeah, no, like that's just like, and he has a lot of damage potential. And that's why Dante's on this list. It's why I put him over like Iris. That's why I put him over Isaac, even though Isaac is a great hero. Iris is a great hero. Heidi's a great hero. Heidi also buffs dodge, but Heidi can't really benefit the dodge spam as much because he has to sit further back. If he sits in the front, he will get wrecked. But Dante, even if he's not a tank, he can be, quote, a tank. He can also be great in the second spot behind, like, another tank, like Aurora, or Rufus, or Corvus, or Julius, or whatever. Like, you can always put Dante in, like, the second spot of the lineup, and also have him be very effective there. But yeah, he's the number 5 pick on this list for good reason. So, moving on. Number 4, Arachne. So Arachne was also my last list because she's just really good. Like, what makes Arachne so good is that she has long duration stuns. Like, her ultimate does an AE stun that lasts for 5 seconds. She also has her demolition drone, which also does AE stun for 2 seconds. But what really puts Arachne over the top, though, is her ability to patron with Mara. Kind of like how Dante goes over the top with Kayn. Arachne goes over the top with Mara Patron. If you aren't familiar with Mara Patron, What she can do is extend the duration of status effect to their deadly weakness. When she's maxed out, she increases the effect by 200%, which means that a stun lasts 3 times as long. So Arachne's stun, instead of lasting 5 seconds, it lasts 15 seconds. And the other one lasts 6 seconds, 2 seconds. That is a lot of time and could literally, pretty much, literally lock out the enemy team from the fight. If you have them all stunned, there is not too much they can do about it. It just makes her a very, very good hero because stuns, like I said, you literally can just control the game with her with these 2 abilities. She also has some decent pure damage dealing abilities as well, so she can do decent damage. She's not usually going to be top DPS, but the stuns, can keep her in a fight. Plus, she has a vampirism, so she has a lot of self healing. So just an all around good hero. So we have her on the 4th place, plus she boosts magic penetration, so when she ults, just does a lot of more damage that way because she buffs her magic penetration. But that's not where I want to go. But so if we go, gosh, I keep hitting the wrong button. We go here, so let's find a fight. There were some fights here that we can probably use her on because there's no Sebastian here. So let's try this fight. I bet you we can stun lock them here. At least have a good demonstration on what this looks like. So we're going to have Arachne here with Mara. We're also going to pair her with Maya, which works really well just because Maya can button jump, but you can use Lars. You don't necessarily have to use her with any of these other heroes, but I think she has pretty good synergy with Maya. But we are going to set, so this is with Mara page. So Julius is now going to be stunned for 6 seconds because that was the demolition drone. Right, and said, note, Arachne's stuns are not level based, so she's not going to get hosed by Polaris like some heroes will, but now there you go. That whole team, he is now stunned for 15 seconds. There's literally not much they can do for the next 15 seconds. Like, you could probably, if you count from where they first got stunned, you can literally watch the 15 seconds go by and they'll have the spinny stars around them. Like, it is, like, this is what makes Arachne so powerful. Like, they're literally, the other team can't do anything while they're stunned. Right, and Maya helps bunch them up. See, Ishmael's dead, Nebula's dead, and we are just gonna roll over this team because Arachne is literally locking him out of this game. Like, there you go, Julius goes down, there you go, the rest of the team's down, and that's a win. Like, if we go, was it this one? Wasn't that one? Was this one here? Arachne was not top DPS at all, but she's the main reason this team got a win. Aurora off-keys does a lot of damage, which we'll talk about later in this video, but ability to stun lock an entire team is very, very powerful, and that's why we have Arachne in 4th place on this list. Number 3, Celeste. So Celeste has always been one of the best heroes in the game ever since they first released her. She's very different from most heroes in that she only needs 50% energy to ult, and that's because she has 2 modes. So it's like when she uses her ult, she only uses 50% energy. Like this, right? This switches her to her light form, and then when she uses it again, switches back to her dark form. She always starts in dark form and then goes to light, right? And she has like 2 different modes. Like the dark form is a damage dealing mode. The light form is a healing mode. This makes her one of the best healers game. Also makes her a decent damage healer, but also like a decent control hero. Because she can put the cursed flame down while she's in dark mode, which blocks healing. It's a field effect, so it doesn't get blocked by things like Ode to Serenity. So this is a really powerful ability because it blocks all healing from the enemy team while this ability is down. It also does damage. It converts some of the healing to damage. So not only does it block the healing, it actually does damage as well. So this is a really powerful ability. It's really helpful against like Oliver Patron or like trying to finish off Jew or whatever. It's a very, very important ability, helps a lot, but her Purifying Sphere ability is also really good because it blocks and removes all negative status effects while healing over time. It lasts a few seconds. Like the Purifying Sphere, it lasts 5 seconds, right? So 5 seconds of protection from all status effects. It removes all status effects on that hero and protects that hero for 5 seconds while healing them. It's a very powerful ability. And those 2 abilities combined are just really, really good. But we also should talk about her artifacts. Her artifact weapon, especially when she ults, it does 50,000 magic attack. But because her ult only costs half as much energy, it only lasts 4.5 seconds instead of the usual 9 like you see for all other heroes. right? And this might sound bad at first. However, her ult does take half the energy, which means it is possible to get to Celeste to 100% energy and do this twice. And I have a fight here I did just to kind of show you for demonstrative purposes. Here, wait, let's see. We already have this fight run just so I can show you. So we're going to run this speed up real quickly, and then we're going to wait till Celeste is almost full on energy. Okay, now you see how Celeste has full energy. In manual mode, you can hold this back. Like, you don't have to use her instantly. But when here you go. She just ulted, and now she ulted again. Now we have 2 of these 50k magic buffs. That's an extra 100k magic attack. Plus, you got couple more in there from Krista. And that just greatly boosted the damage of Krista when the twins were comboing off in that fight. And that's the kind of thing you can do. You can literally just double pump her, give your whole team an extra 100k magic attack, and just like absolutely run over them with like a magic team. So she's really good for that as well. Like she's just a very, very versatile hero. Absolutely worth having. Absolutely top tier. One of the best heroes in the game, always has been. And that's why she's my number 3 on this list. Number 2, Aurora. For a lot of the same reasons I put Dante on this list, I also apply to Aurora. She's a dodge buffer. So she buffs dodge their artifact weapon. She can benefit from Cane patronage and is able to put these dodge buffs up quite a bit. She can put multiples up in a single fight, and also does a lot of damage with her ult. Her ultimate does almost 40k damage per hero. Like if it's an AE damage, so she can literally do like 200k damage every time she ults if they have low magic defense. But also post ascension, she also that I should talk about. She has really good magic mitigation too with Rainbow Halo. This makes her really tough. She has a lot of health. You know, so this is kind of why I put her above Dante, just because she's a lot tankier than Dante. I think a lot more versatile because she has good magic mitigation, good health. And her ascension abilities, though, really put her over the top here. Being able to also now absorb like some of the damage she would have got from physical attacks when she dodges, as well as this thing, the Resonant Crystal Celeste. Once she ults, there's now 3 seconds. If her Rainbow Halo explodes in that 3 seconds, she does additional damage to the enemy team with her ults like that with the Rainbow Halo. So it ends up adding to a lot of damage, and she can pretty much just single-handedly win you games, like win you fights. Like she is very oppressive. Like if you just look at some of these fights here, let's see, oh, that was a twins fight. Here we go. This one right here against a physical team absolutely destroys this team by herself to 2 million damage. And this is like a physical team. This kind of like show you what the Aurora can do here. So we got a dodge buff up, like Isaac's here, but Ordo's up there. We got 2 dodge buffs. So the physical attacking team, like, can barely touch my heroes now. You see Lars dodged most of that with 3 dodge buffs. Lars did end up dying there, but their team's almost dead now. And I said, Aurora's pretty much just carrying the day, even because we're not going to combo off twins because Lars died. But Aurora's, we don't need Lars this case because Aurora is literally carrying the day, getting 2 to 3 dodge buffs up pretty much the whole fight. And of course, Celeste is buffing magic attack. You know, I said my Celeste isn't even, like I said, that might have actually been from Krista. There you go. Celeste has the max one. Yeah, you have Krista and Celeste buffing magic attack also greatly increase her damage, but just right, even without like the mage buffs, like she can really do a lot of damage by herself. It's just what she can't do. I mean, it's like she does everything. She's just absolutely amazing. Top tier hero. Always been one of the best tanks in the game. Still is. Absolutely worth having. It's why I have her on this list and why I put her as number 2. And finally, coming in number 1 is Sebastian. If you've been playing Hero Wars for any amount of time, you're probably expecting this because you're probably well aware of how powerful Sebastian is. His ultimate ability, Ode to Serenity, is quite literally the meta-defining ability of the game. Its ability to remove all debuffs and prevent debuffs from being applied 15 times. Really prevents a lot of the control effects from taking over the metagame, and it just has made him the most used hero, especially this ability combined with Public Idol, which lets him start with a lot of extra energy, so he can use Ode to Serenity right off the bat, pretty much, like really early in combat before control heroes can get up and running. And this is why you use Sebastian so much, because especially on defense, like if you don't have a way to protect yourself against control heroes on your defending team, like heroes like Arachne or Jorgen and stuff, they'll literally just run roughshod over you. So you need someone like Sebastian just to kind of keep your control heroes in check, and you'll use them on offense a lot. And that's kind of You know, like I said, why you'll see him in mage teams, even though Battle Song and Striking Solo only help like physical attackers, his artifact weapon only buffs critical hit. You know, a mage team doesn't have a lot of use for it, yet you'll see Sebastian used in like twins teams, like I use him. You'll see this as a mage team, yet Sebastian is too good not to have on defense. Even though he doesn't really contribute a lot to this team, from like the offensive side, the ability to protect against status effects is that important, and so I use him on pretty much all my defending teams, no matter like who else is in there. Like I said, this one they said Isaac here. Part of the reason we win is because Ode to Serenity blocks Isaac's silence here. I showed you this fight in the last one with Aurora, but watch, Ode to Serenity comes up really fast because of Public Idol. Right, 10 seconds of fight, Public Idol's up. Isaac ulted, but it wasn't fast enough to beat Sebastian. So now we, like I said, so now because we have Ode to Serenity up, his silence can't land. And that's why Sebastian is good. He protects you against control effects, but that's not the only reason Sebastian's like the top hero. Like, he's also really good in PvE type content like guild raids. Arch the Eternal Keeper, he has Battle Song, and his striking solo abilities are both very, very important. Like, Battle Song increases the critical hit chance of your heroes, and this also stacks those artifacts. So if you give all your heroes critical hit with his old loot here, his old loot artifact weapon, and then Battle Song activates, you buff that critical hit even that much more. So just by himself, he can buff critical hit over 20,000 for like 5 seconds at a time. And what's more, when his Battle Song's up, when a hero does critical damage, he does pure damage based on that critical hit that is above that. Like, so in this example, he does 134% extra damage. So if Jude gets a crit for 100,000 damage, Sebastian gets to do 134,000 pure damage, right? Like, that adds up to a lot of damage. And this is why he ends up his top DPS in Osh the Eternal Keeper. Like this screenshot shows, Osh isn't up right now, so I can't show you Osh fights. But this is a screen from like just showing you like the kind of damage you can see from an Osh fight. And this isn't even like top. I mean, you can literally get over 100 million damage with Sebastian in an Osh fight by himself, like if it's just based on how your team works, how much luck you get. So he's just really, really, really good. Absolutely top tier hero. Like, everybody needs Sebastian. It's like, if there's one hero to invest in that I recommend for everybody, it is absolutely Sebastian, because he literally is the best hero in the game. All right, so those are my picks for top 5. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this list, if you disagree, and who would you put in your personal top 5. And like I said, I did a video like this a couple years ago, but obviously it's a couple years ago, so a bit outdated. But if you want to see the original video, you can find that down below. And as always, thank you for watching.